Good morning to Associate Professor Dr. Anama. My name is Nurfati Habibie Effendi from Bachelor of Nursing Cohort 10. Today I'm going to present about impact of social media on adolescents' mental health. So this is the table of content. Through this presentation, I'll be able to acknowledge the objective, background, introduction of impact of social media, impact of social media on adolescents' mental health, risk and protective factors of developing mental health issues, nursing role in assessment, nursing interventions, parental and community involvement, ethical consideration, and the conclusion. So the objective of this presentation is to analyze the effects of social media on adolescents' mental health and develop strategies for pediatric nurses to address and mitigate its negative impacts. The background: adolescence is a critical development period, and social media has become a dominant force in the life of many teenagers. It offers both opportunities and challenges impacting adolescents' mental health. It is important for pediatric nurses to understand these dynamics and provide the interventions that will support the adolescent's well-being. So, for the introduction, social media has become an integral part of life of humans, including adolescents worldwide. It is used by adults in nearly universal. So up to 95% of youth aged 13 to 17 reports using a social media platform, which more than attest saying they use social media almost constantly. So it offers unprecedented access to information, communication, and social interaction, which also have transformed communication and information sharing. So platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram have transformed this communication and information sharing, which is include health-related content. So the COVID-19 pandemic has greatly affected adolescents, including their social media use and mental well-being. So there is a decrease in face-to-face interactions and increasing in social media applications. Research suggests that excessive use of social media may be associated with certain mental health challenges. It is crucial to acknowledge that adolescents differ in their susceptibility to the effects of social media. There are increasing concerns among researchers, parents, and caregivers, young people, healthcare experts, and others about the impact of social media on adolescents' mental health. So, ongoing research is needed to better understand how social media related to mental health and well-being in this challenging time. So we look at the impact of social media on adolescents' mental health. So there are two categories, which is positive and negative. So the first one is positive impact. The first is it can enhance social connectivity. So social media allows adolescents to stay connected with any friends and family even across long distance. So it also helps fosters connection among peers with shared interests such as hobbies, sports, and advocacy causes. Second, peer support and emotional validation. So adolescents facing personal challenges often find encouragement and advice from friends and also online communities. So they can share each other's struggles and receive validation at the same time. Third, access to educational content. So platforms such as YouTube offers a diverse educational content ranging from study tips to online advice. And as a student, they also have online learning, which now become important for them. And the last one is encouraging self-expression. So adolescents often use social media to express their identities through art, music, photography, or writing. So platforms such as Instagram or TikTok provide that kind of um, platform that can appreciate and encourage their creativity, where it also might bring positive feedback, boosting confidence, and also encourage further creative pursuits. Uh, However, the negative impact, including cyberbullying and harassment. So, social media opens the doors to targeted harassment, often anonymous, that can affect an adolescent's mental health. Cyberbullying, which is generally defined as employing electronic communication to bully or harass a person on the internet, particularly on the social media sites. So, cyberbullying victims may experience a low self-esteem, increased suicidal ideation, and a variety of negative emotional response. So, cyberbullying has reached an alarming rate in Malaysia. Harmful cyberbullying behavior can include posting rumors, threats, and sexual remarks. So, So, according to a survey conducted by the Malaysia Communication and Multimedia Commission's (MCMC), involving 14,000 school students, 70% of the respondents admit to having a harassed online through improper pictures or messages posted and being called mean names. So, there are several types of cyberbullying. So, the first one is exclusion, where it is the act of leaving someone out of the situation deliberately. Then harassment, which means people harass the person. Third is outing or doxing, which refers to openly reveal the personal and sensitive details about someone without their consent. Next, trickery, similar to outing but involves deception. So the bully will befriend the victim and try to gain their trust by abusing the trust by sharing the victim's secret and private information. Then cyberstalking, a severe form of cyberbullying that go to extent of physical harm, threats, false accusations, and monitoring. Frapping is when a bully uses a victim's social networking accounts to post inappropriate content using their names. And then masquerading happens when a bully creates a made-up profile using victims' personal information and pictures. Next is dissing, when a bully spreads bad information about the victim through public posts or private message to ruin their reputation and relationship with other people. Next, trolling, the act of bullying by intentionally posting harmful comments online to upset the others. And last one is flaming, where it is similar to trolling but involve more direct attacks on victims and provoking them into online fights. So one of tragic case in Malaysia that was shocked Malaysia was that a 16 years old teenager who commit suicide after her Instagram follower vote in poll that she should die. So this happens on 13 May 2019, where Davia Emilia jumped to her death from a third floor apartment in Batu Kawan Township, Kuching, Sarawak. Here she posts an Instagram story yearly at the day and asks her followers to choose whether she should live or die. So the result showed 69% vote D, which stands for die, and the remaining vote L, that means life. So her stepbrother found Davia lying lifeless below their rented unit after dinner. So according to MCMC, those who incited the 16 years old girl to commit suicide based on the poll on her Instagram may be liable under Section 305 on the Penal Code, which state that it is wrong to incite individuals aged below 18 to commit suicide. So now we go to next negative impact, which is addictive behaviors. So generally, social media definitely has become addictive to its users. So features like infinite scrolling and notifications designed to retain users' attentions. So for adolescents, this can result in compulsive use, distracting from offline activities, academic performance, and face-to-face interactions. So they cannot focus on study or any discussions. However, it can be seen when you go to the restaurant or any place where adolescents which is go spend their time together, just only spend their time but uh, inter- uh, not communicate each other, just play their phone. Next is exposure to harmful content. So social media rewards outrageous behavior, and the more outrageous, the bigger the breaking rise. So it is a quick moving, impulsive environment, and the fear of losing out is a real for teens. So, an environment plays into adolescents' underdeveloped ability to think through their actions and possible consequences. So, this is challenge or dangerous content influences. For example, the hot pepper challenge, where um, the hot pepper challenge sounds deceptively reasonable. However, it is a matter of degree. Eating peppers straight up or drinking hot sauce made with them can be dangerous, and they can lead up with anything from severe stomach ache, headache, seizures, and anaphylactic shock. So adolescents tend to follow um, trends or some videos, inappropriate videos, just to have a lot of views or a lot of comments and to become a famous person. And the last one is sleep disturbance. So excessive screen time, especially before bed, it will interfere with sleep quality. So it is effects to fatigue, irritability, and heightened vulnerability to mental health issues. So the risks and protective factors that make adolescents particularly vulnerable to negative effects of social media. So there's three category. The first one is developmental. So the developing brain's high sensitivity to reward mechanism also makes social media's likes and notifications particularly addictive and reinforcing compulsive usage patterns. So adolescents are at a stage where they are highly aware of how others perceive them, which can increase their susceptibility to social comparison. Next is psychological. Are still at the age of developing emotional regulation skills and they are actively forming their identities and self-concept. So without major coping mechanism, negative experience online can lead to prolonged distress or exacerbate pre-existing mental health issue. So they often seek validation from peers as part of their psychological development. So on social media, this can create an excessive dependency on external approval, which may lead to issues with self-worth if they do not receive enough likes or positive comments. And the last one is social. So social media is a platform that often highlight idealized lifestyles, leading adolescents to compare their life with those of influencers of our peers. So this comparison culture can fuel feelings of inadequacy. So in addition, a peer influence is heightened during adolescence. So then they tend to do the same things or the same behavior with their group, such as excessive social media use. So additionally, online relationship can be superficial, and the ease of online communication can sometimes promote negative behaviors like cyberbullying, exclusion, or social manipulation. Additionally, the fear of missing out (FOMO) when seeing a friend's social activities can contribute to feelings of exclusion and loneliness, which can then lead to affect social confidence and self-image. So this is the protective factors that can mitigate this risk of developing mental health issue. First one, individuals. So it have 5 points. The first one is emotional regulation skills, which is the ability to manage emotions effectively, reduce vulnerability to stress and anxiety. Second, self-esteem and confidence. High self-worth acts as a buffer against negative influence like bullying or social comparison. Third, physical health. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, and adequate sleep support mental health and resilience. Four, problem solving and coping skills. Where adolescents who develop constructive ways to address challenge are less likely to experience prolonged distress. And the last one is positive peer relationship, where supportive friendship can provide emotional security and reduce feelings of isolation. In terms of family, first one is supportive parenting. Open communication and consistent emotional support from parents will create a sense of stability and belonging. Second, parental monitoring. Balanced involvement in adolescents' life helps to protect them from risky behaviors. And the last one is healthy family dynamics. Families that resolve conflicts constructively and model emotional intelligence contribute to adolescents' mental health. The last one, community. First one, access to mental health service. Availability to resources like school counselors can facilitate early intervention. Safe and inclusive environment. Living in neighborhood that provide diversity, safety, and inclusively reduce stresses like discrimination or bullying. Engagement in extracurricular activities. So those who participate in sports or volunteering provides positive outlets for self-expression and foster social connection. And the last one is positive role models. So mentors, teachers, or coach who encourage and support adolescents will inspire healthy development and decision making to the adolescents. So now we talk about the nursing role in assessment. So first, we need to know a pediatric nurses assessment for detect any abnormalities in mental health issue regarding social media. So in assessment, first, build a report. So nurses should recreate a trusting environment where the adolescents feel comfortable to talk and discuss their social media habits. Second, general inquiry about usage pattern. Explore the social media use with adolescents with open-minded questions to encourage detailed response. Next, explore purpose and content. Assess the type of content that the adolescents engage with in social media, and ask if they have exposed to harmful or triggering content like unrealistic body standard or violence. Next, evaluate emotional impact. So nurses must assess how social media affects their emotional well-being, such as they feel more stressed, anxious, or sad after using social media. Next is physical health check. Assess their sleep pattern and assess posture and screen time. If they have any experience severe headache, eye strain, or back pain from prolonged device use. Then discuss social interaction. Discuss whether social media use strengthen or strains relationships with family and peers, and assess any exposure to risks such as online predators or inappropriate content. Then gauge autonomy and safety. Discuss their privacy and safety concerns, including their habits to share their personal information online. Provide education and support. Share any resources about healthy social media use and encourage practice such as a screen time limit, device free zones or times, or engage in offline activities for balance. Then parental involvement. With consent, involve parents to understand family dynamics related to social media use. And last one is document and address any risk. So document any finding, especially concerning patterns that had been identified such as excessive screen time or signs of cyberbullying. And then if need, refer adolescents to appropriate resources such as school counselor, psychologist or support group if needed. So these are the several screening questions that can be used to assess the social media on adolescents' mental health. First one is when we need to know the frequency and time spent on social media. So we can ask them, how much time do you spend on social media each day? Do you feel like you can easily put your phone down, or do you feel the need to check it constantly? And which social media platform do you use more often, and what do you usually do on them? Second, to know emotional response to social media, you can ask, how do you feel after spending time on social media? Do you notice feeling anxious, sad, or happy? Or do you ever compare yourself to others online, and how this can affect your mood? Third, to know social media and self-image, how do you feel about yourself when you post from friends or influencers about on social media? When you see that post, and then do you compare yourself to others online, and how does that make you feel? Next, to know their impacts of social media on their daily life. Has social media ever affected your sleep, schoolwork, or other activities? Or do you sometimes skip in person activities to spend time on social media? And last one, when you want to know if they have experience with cyberbullying or negative interaction, you can ask them, have you ever experienced bullying or negative comments online, and how did you handle it? Or do you feel comfortable talking to someone if you experience a negative interaction online? So, besides of screening question, you can use several assessment tools. There are five types. The first one is social media disorder scale, which is it is a brief questionnaire that assess social media addiction in adolescents. Second, patient health questionnaire, which it is widely used to screen for symptoms of depression, which can be exacerbated by social media use. Third, generalized anxiety disorder, 7, used to screen for anxiety symptom, which helps assess the severity of anxiety and can be a valuable addition to broader mental health screening. 4. Social media use integration skill, to assess how deeply social media is integrated into an adolescent's social life and self-identity. And last one is generalized problematic internet use skill. These tools can help to identify problematic patterns in internet use, including its impact on emotional well-being and daily functioning. So this is the warning signs that uh, nurses need to be more give more attention. Where if early recognizing warning signs will allows nurses to provide timely support or recommend interventions which could help adolescents to develop healthier relationship with social media. So the first one is obsessive use of social media. So if a child preoccupied with checking their phone for updates, notification, or likes, they may have developed an unhealthy attachment to social validation, which can increase a vulnerability to anxiety. So, sense of distress or agitation when not allowed to use social media can be a signal of dependency and potential use with self-regulation. Then, next is mood and behavior changes. So, adolescents may present with signs of persistent sadness, irritability, or sudden mood change that may signal emotional distress. So, research shows increasing numbers of adolescents most develop anxiety or depression compared to 5 years ago. Next is social withdrawal and isolation. So, adolescents experiencing cyberbullying or online harassment may withdraw from in person social activities to avoid further social scrutiny or embarrassment. So, if a previously social child suddenly avoids friends or family, it could be a red flag. So, this can indicate that the child feels excessively dependent on their online image for self worth. Next is sleep disturbance. So excessive social media use, especially before bed, can interfere with sleep quality. So signs of sleep disruption include difficulty waking up, increased fatigue, and irregular sleep schedules. So nurses should inquire about screen time habits, and as disrupted sleep is often linked to mental health issues like anxiety and also depression. Next is low esteem and negative self-image. So, a negative self comparison, which triggered by social media content, may be detected when a child expresses their feelings of inadequacy or speaks negatively about their own appearance or abilities. So, it happens when they find that what they like in the social media and eager to have that kind of thing uh, in their life, such as a rich life or popularity or beauty, without planning and think generously which part they like. Next is academic performance decline. So social media addiction can result in reduced focus and engagement in school. So nurses should be mindful if children or adolescents mention falling behind academically, struggling with concentration, or showing a lack of motivation, which may link to social media related to distress. So this can become the time for study. This can because of the time of study or doing their homework are used for social media only. Next is self-harm or suicidal thoughts. So this has there are many cases of suicidal nowadays in worldwide. So for a child, especially with depression, they tend to follow this behavior and choose to suicide because they feel like they can have their own freedom and then free from their problems. So nurses should watch for any signs of self-injury as well as expressions of hopelessness or suicidal ideation, particularly if the child has a history of cyberbullying or social exclusion. And the last one is withdrawal from online offline activities. So children who previously enjoyed social or recreational activities but now prefer staying alone or online may be affected by social media pressures or a preference for virtual engagement, which can be seen as a negative influence of social media. So this is a little bit of 6 points of nursing interventions. So the first one is education and health promotion. So nurses should educate adolescents about responsible and balance of use of social media, emphasizing importance of limiting screen time and engage in offline activities. So this can be able to increase the awareness among adolescents. Next is promoting healthy social media habits. So encourage children the use of social media free times to prevent negative effects on sleep and face-to-face interactions. So here nurses can also encourage adolescents to participate in extracellular activities. Then address mental health and emotional support. Nurses can assess adolescents for signs of mental health distress, and we can teach them coping mechanism strategies like mindfulness. Nurses also can promote open dialogue about social media experience to share each other's experience and give advice to them. For support from families or caregivers. So nurses can guide parents on how to monitor their child's social media activity without being intrusive, or can advocate for family meetings to discuss the use of social media to support the adolescent's mental well-being. Five, creates a safe environment at school. So nurses can provide resources to teachers and counselors to recognize early signs of distress related to social media. So nurses should encourage adolescents to report bullying to school authorities and social media platforms. And the last one, nurses can refer the adolescents those struggling with negative effect to mental health professionals such as psychologists or counselors. It is for further assessment and support to them. So also can refer them to the peer support group. So there are parental and community involvement weaknesses. In terms of parental, they can setting boundaries where setting time limits, particularly screen time before bed, encourage device-free family time, such as time lunch together or dinner together, or when they spend time together. And then modeling healthy social media habits, which means as a parent they need to show a good role model to their children. Then promote open communication. They can discuss online experience like cyberbullying or social pressure with the children, and encourage honest conversation, discuss positive and negative impacts, and they differentiate between online appearance and the reality one. Next is modeling healthy behavior, such as what I said just now. So gentle monitor their children's social media and identify if their children has experienced any signs of potential social media addiction or distress. In terms of school-based mental health program, first a social media education, which can help students critically assess online content and recognize potential risks such as cyberbullying. And they can also teach digital literacy and share the impacts of social media to the mental health. Next is mental health counseling, where they can offer crucial support system for students who are struggling with the effects of social media. And as a counselor, they can provide coping strategies, group discussions, or workshops to the students. And the last one, peer support program, where it will give a environment that emphasizes kindness, inclusion, and empathy. So they can discuss and share their social media experience and offer mutual support, which then also can lead to reduce feelings of isolation and improve self-esteem. In terms of community resource, first is Youth Center Community Program, which can offer after-school programs or social activities. Can help to encourage face-to-face interaction, building skills, and friendship outside of digital space. For example, is Rakan Muda Association that lead up by Kementerian Pendidikan. So this program has gathered all the adolescents to have activities together, even though they do not know each other. But this program tend to give them more offline activities and spend time together. Next is support network for parents. So it can help if they have any workshop or seminars on social media literacy and mental health awareness for their families. So this program will provide information on latest social media trends, mental health risks, and strategies for healthy online engagement. And they can teach how to navigate the digital landscape responsibly. And the last one is the access to mental health service. So this is to ensure adolescents and their families are aware of and can access professional helps needed. So adolescents can also have a support outside of clinical setting if they feel like going to the clinic is like a burden to them or avoid them from feeling like they have a serious problem. So they can just attend to mental health service. So this is the ethical considerations that involve for social media use, and then we will talk about the nursing responsibility to maintain a balance between respecting adolescents' autonomy and privacy while ensure their mental and emotional well-being. So the ethical consideration, the first one is privacy and confidentiality, where the ethical guidelines underline the significance of ensuring that any personal data published on social media is protected. So adolescents should be taught about online privacy settings so they do not share too much of their personal information to the public. Second is cyberbullying and harassments. Expose or indulge in cyberbullying will raise concerns regarding ethics. So all are responsible to protect adolescents against inappropriate behaviors. Third, impact on mental health and well-being. So social media can facilitate beneficial social connections, but excessive use of or exposure to negative content can exacerbate depression, anxiety, concerns of with body image, and also social comparison. Four, developmental of identity and social comparison. So adolescents who being aware of the psychological effects that idealized pictures and perfection standards can have an impressionable young users is a moral duty. autonomy and control. So inform adolescents about their rights regarding consent and how social media platforms utilize their data, particularly when they use the platforms for health or educational objective. 6. Commercial exploitation and advertising. So shield young people who are at risk from deceptive advertising such as that which promotes unhealthy goods or consumerism in ways that could lower adolescent self-esteem. 7. Balance social media use with offline activities. So we need to promote a balanced lifestyle that prioritizes academic attention, physical activity, and in-person social context. Next, digital literacy education. Adolescents should be taught how to assess online content critically, identifying false information, negative stereotypes, and the dangers of disinformation, so that they do not have a wrong or misunderstanding about the social media use. And the last one is age appropriate content. So laws like the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act are used to guarantee that children are not exposed to offensive or dangerous content. So furthermore, it is the ethical duty of educators and parents to help adolescents develop safe and healthy judgment about the content that they access online. So this is the nurse responsibilities to maintain a balance between respect adolescents' autonomy and privacy while ensure their mental and emotional well-being. The first one is respect adolescents' autonomy. So nurses make adolescents feel valued and respected by giving them options and promoting active involvement in care decisions, which is essential for fostering trust. Next is maintain confidentiality and privacy. So teenagers have serious privacy concerns, particularly when it comes to delicate topics like social media use or mental health. So nurses may provide private space for conversations to allow adolescents to share their personal information without fear of being overheard by parents or caregivers. So as their autonomy is protected unless there is a safety issue, this gives teenagers the confidence to voice their worries. Next is promote mental and emotional well-being. So, regular evaluations of adolescents' mental health by pediatric nurses should consider their usage of social media. So, this entails posing open-ended inquiries concerning their interactions on social media and keeping an eye out for indication of social disengagement, depression, or discomfort. So adolescents can learn from this is how to use social media in a healthy way, including how to set screen time restrictions, spot hazardous online behavior, and make a good use of privacy settings. Next is advocating for safe digital practice. So by teaching adolescents about the dangers of social media and how to use it responsibly, so nurses may promote the implementation of digital literacy initiatives in communities and schools. So nurses can teach adolescents about the dangers of social media and how to use it responsibly. So it can respect adolescents' independence while empowering them with knowledge to make safer online decisions. So if a nurse identifies signs that adolescents' social media is negatively impacting their mental health, they have an ethical obligation to intervene. Next is educate about rights and boundaries. So nurses should inform adolescents about their rights, including confidential and consent within the legal framework may of their region. So nurses can use or discuss any scenarios where disclosure may be necessary, such as a risk of harm to themselves or others, to ensure that they understand this exception. And last one is address developmental needs. So through the communication with adolescents, nurses can recognize the adolescents' needs and capacities vary. So they can approach their developmental stage and cultural background. So, for the conclusion, in today's digital era, the prevalence of social media use is widespread, particularly among children, adolescents, and young people. So, it has a various advantages and disadvantages. However, its significance in addressing mental health issues should not be overlooked. So, the impact of social media on mental health is evident, emphasizing the need for caution in its usage. So, it is crucial to recognize the implications of these findings and the necessity for further research to explore the connection between social media use and the mental health of adolescents. So, that's all from me. Thank you.